Welcome to the Journal Editorial Report. I'm Paul Gigot. The New Hampshire voters took their dissatisfaction to the polls Tuesday, handing victories to Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders and billionaire businessman Donald Trump. Both candidates are still a long way from the White House, so will their outsider appeal endure as the presidential race moves south? Let's ask Wall Street Journal columnist and deputy editor Dan Henninger, editorial board member Dorothy Rabinowitz, and assistant editorial page editor James Freeman. So, Dan, I think we saw in the debate Thursday night the Democratic establishment hit back and Hillary Clinton wrap herself around President Obama. Let's listen.
The kind of criticism that we've heard from Senator Sanders about our president, I expect from Republicans. I do not expect from someone running for the Democratic nomination to succeed President Obama.
Madam Secretary, that is a low blow.
And low blow, but an effective or not effective?
Oh, I think it's probably pretty effective considering where she's going. I mean, Hillary Clinton has, well, among her problems, one of the bigger is that people say she's not likable, she's shrill, and so forth. So she's saying there, basically, if you don't like me, how do you like the President of the United States, the first African-American president, Barack Obama, who selected me? She keeps saying that, selected me to be his Secretary of State, trusted me, and now voters were going down to South Carolina and the South, where the minority voters are presumably going to decide the election. And she's wrapping...
They love President Obama.
And they still love President Obama, and she is trying to isolate Bernie Sanders as he wants to be an outsider in the Democratic Party. Let him be an outsider in South Carolina and the southern states.
And his appeal, Dorothy, in New Hampshire, if you look at the exit polls, was clearly he's a more authentic progressive than Hillary Clinton, a genuine man of the left. And the voting blocs in the Democratic Party have moved left, but have they moved that far left as Bernie clearly is?
Well, the young people have, and I think we should stop using the word authentic for him. I mean,
he's authentic. What, you don't think he believes what he's saying?
Oh, yes, I do, but that's not what we usually mean by that wonderfully idealistic term. Bernie is, think of him more correctly, as a member of the hard left. No matter how often he talks about socialist, our great democracy, when you hear the venom in his voice, when he discusses our wars, when he discusses Vietnam and our great guilt, we have essentially ruined the universe in Bernie's terms until a president like him comes.
But you don't, the question is, can that sell inside enough inside the Democratic Party to get him the nomination?
Well, I don't think so, but it will give he will give a run for Hillary's money from that vast audience of women and young men who don't know the history. They don't remember a character like this from the early days, who speaks with the voice of something that, you know, members of the oldest, hardest left understand. And he's going to give them a free college education. Oh. Put that together.
Okay, all right. Let's move on to Donald Trump. His appeal is different, it seems to me, if you look at the exit polls. It's not about ideology so much. Maybe the issue of immigration is there, trade, but it's his appeal, his attitude. It's his persona. It's, I'm going to shake things up in Washington, bring change.
Yeah, that's right. And while he has the strongest support among non-college educated blue-collar workers, he's got very broad support when you look really across all demographics. I think it's a coalition of people who are fed up, ticked off, not just with the Obama economy, but really the whole direction of the American government. Feel like they've been lied to by politicians. I think, though, that he
What's his staying power?
Well, I question his staying power as people look into that business record. Once he goes beyond the development business that he inherited, he pretty much fails in the big ventures, airlines, casinos, etc. So I think that's going to get some scrutiny.
Do people care about that, though? I mean, generally, he's... Well, that's the question.
That's essentially what he's saying. And I also think here we are with... very troubled markets, the U.S. economy slowing. You might say this plays to his strength to focus on economic issues, but I think as people dig into, as Dan noted this week, that 45% tariff, that tax he wants to put on a lot of goods we buy from overseas, they may think twice.
The other candidates really did give him a pass in New Hampshire, I thought. He was not attacked. They attacked each other.
Yeah.
You know, and so Trump, I think, emerged mostly unscathed.
Well, also he emerged as the new Donald Trump. I mean, we've been reading about how his campaign decided, that he was doing a positive message and toning it down in New Hampshire, and this worked for him. So we're kind of getting a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde candidate who's going to go into the South being more positive, not being as negative. I think they understood that he was beginning to just be a little bit too much, and you couldn't sustain that persona through the entire primary
But it's going to be
campaign.
fascinating to watch how he'll react to the attacks that are coming in South Carolina, Dorothy. There's no question they have to go after him, the other candidates.
Yes, they do, and they will.
All right.